Welcome back to Defenders of Light. Last episode I was at Strangeland and I rescued Jules. I now have all 5 Defenders of Light. I can't remember what I said I was going to do last time, but what I decided to do was go to Forestland and defeat the boss there. Didn't have a chance to do that last time. I decided to not go for the boss immediately and to go and get Jules. At this point the battles are still on, obviously. If you haven't seen RPG Maker's default battle system, it's not going to happen in this game, and I've mentioned that before. This is actually a battle system that I made up just for the game because I really hate the default battle system. I don't mind when it's used well, but I never really found a good way to use it in any of my games. I wanted to take a moment here to talk about the player select spot here. These appear in all of the levels in various different places and allow you to switch the character. The way this works basically is when I press X while I'm standing on top of it or facing it, I will enter the character select menu. In the instructions I advise the player to stand on top of it because ideally that's what I want people to do, and a lot of the time where the character select spot is kind of prevents people from accessing it from one space away. A trick that you could call it a bug, I prefer to call it a trick that you can use in this game is to activate the character select spot from one space away. I can't really do it right on this one, but I can access it from the bottom like that. And I can access it from the right hand side. Because of the way the events work, the only way to prevent that from happening would be to put an extra event here, 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 and here to prevent the player from pressing the X button from one space away. Now, I didn't have enough memory to prevent people from doing that. I just decided to leave it in. You could say that it's a bug, perhaps. I prefer to look at it as kind of like one of those things that you find out about games as you're playing it. Here we have the boss, Woodrow T. Bartlots. And the T, I suppose, could stand for tree. I didn't really give him a proper middle name, I just put T, but you could call him Woodrow T, as in tree, Bartlots. And of course, it's supposed to be just a funny name, and of course if I were to lose, I would read his name again. The reason why there are so many places that you can cross over here is because when I originally made the game, you would have to travel all the way from the top, and you might have 1 or 2 places where you could cross. When I made the easy version, I decided to add more places that the player can move up and down on to avoid those trees. If I go ahead and touch that tree, I'm gonna lose. This is how you defeat Woodrow Tree Bartlots. You can see the bottom of him there. That's supposed to be something that's holding this level or this platform up in the air. That little pillar down there is supposed to be holding this giant platform that's surrounding him. What you have to do for this, similar to most games, is I'm using Poncho's lasso whip ability. Every time he whips him, his eyes will change color. The pattern to this is up, down, right, left. Many games kind of follow that pattern. If you notice there, his eyes are supposed to be appearing as if they're looking at me, knowing that I just hit him. One more hit to go. And that's what you do to take down Woodrow T. Barklocks. Never realized until now it's kind of weird to say his name. You get 15 lights and he's supposed to be burnt to a crisp now that you've destroyed him. Mortat, of course, reacts. Has another of my warriors been defeated? Woodrow T. Barklocks was defeated. He was too weak. Had I completed this first, we would have seen that cutscene, and the screenshot of Woodrow T. Barklocks dying would have been the first picture that we would have saw. Since I got Jules first, that screenshot is going to appear before. As I mentioned previously, I did this so that the screenshots at the end of the game will be in chronological order. In the character select menu, now that I have all the characters, one of the little things that you can do with RPG Maker is you can check the stats of the character that you've highlighted. Right now, I have Leo highlighted, and if I check my status, it'll show that I have full life and full magic. And if I take a look at my abilities, I can see that I have Power Smash, Builder Bob, and Thunderclap. And if you take a look at the description there, as I said before, it didn't show this description, but I decided it'd be kind of funny to show it. You reflect the abilities for your abilities, and for your magic it says that it causes death to all. Pretty good way of showing the abilities, magics within the menus themselves. I always like to sort this by cure, so that way the life points always appear on the top left, and then all of the levels that you've gone to and collected lights at will show after that. It's an easy way to track which stages you've been to and how many light you've collected on each one, as well as the abilities and magics that you've gained along the way. I felt that it was a good way to give the player a way to track their status. If I change to Alice, see that she has her magic. Kiss of Death magic, Mini Might, USS Bodhi. Super Pounce, Kitty Gas magic. Now you see Poncho only has his Lasso Whip ability and doesn't have any magic yet. If you notice there, it'll show that there's no magic for him. It's the same for Jules right now. He doesn't have any magic either. He'll end up learning that later. And he hasn't learned any abilities yet. Nothing's going to show up there. For now, we need to be Keisha as I head back into the game. Again, these gold chests appear throughout the game. Right now we can't access them. Time to play cleanup and go back to Grassland. Now that I have Keisha, I'm able to jump across here. Again, it's marked by the boxes to show me that I can jump over there. On this island here is the gold chest, as well as a character select spot. That will become relevant later. Right now, that's all I need to do. Once you have all the characters and all their abilities, it's pretty easy to go back to the levels and collect all the lights that you've missed. First battle in a while. Pancho still doesn't have his magic, and still won't get it for a very, very, very long time. Running isn't always successful. Once I've cleaned out Grassland of all the lights that I can collect at this time, I should have enough lights to access Towerland. Here is another red hawk thing, and I won't be able to access it right now. That will become relevant later. At this point I've gotten all the lights that I can in Grassland. Can come back for those ones down there. I can't get to them quite yet. I can see that I can use my ability over there, and there's a light there. I can't get to them right now. Should have enough lights now to open the door to Towerland. This level, Towerland, I had a lot of fun designing. It's supposed to be in the tower that you can see from outside. If you take a look at one of my previous videos, you'll be able to see the tower that you can view from Xi'an Prime. You're supposed to be in that tower right now. Someone pointed out that I didn't put any blocks down there. Reason is because the level takes up the entire area that RPG Maker allows you to use. This level is as big as it can possibly be. In retrospect, I could have raised it up one more level. See anything on the bottom there. I just left it like this, my theory being that this tower is sitting on the ground. That's where you can see the sort of green underneath there. Only us as the player can see the background there. Character's point of view, you wouldn't see that background there. You would only see it once you get upstairs where there's actual windows. This character select spot that is here didn't exist before. That forced the player to have to come here as Alice in order to use her ability. Went back and added a character select spot there. That way the person playing could be whoever they want it to be. Another enemy, it was a gold knight, destroyed him. Each area has its own assortment of enemies that you face. Anyways, back to this character select spot. Had I come here as another character, if I was Pancho and I had warped over here and came into the level, there's a samurai. Towerland's battles are a bit more difficult than, say, Grassland's battles or Xi'an Prime's battles. Reason being, your characters progress further in the game, the battles are supposed to be a bit harder now. Characters without magic will find that it's harder to hit the enemies. I can't remember if I programmed it this way. I think it's equally as possible to run away at all points in time regardless of where you are. And that's why running away is usually the more successful option to pick in a battle. Anyways, back to this level here. You can see that I can't get past this little piece of water here. I would have had to be Alice. Had this level been the way it was before, I would actually have to leave the level, find a character select spot, change to Alice, warp back here, and then use the ability. I felt that was really silly to force the player to do that. That's why I added this character select spot here. I was fortunate enough to have enough information to be able to add it. I can't remember how much memory I had to begin with when I began updating it. Right now, there's absolutely no memory left on the scenario data whatsoever. I couldn't add anything at all, even if I wanted to. There's a little trick where you can add a screenshot or copy and paste the screenshot, go into what I call negative memory, which is RPG Maker ends up glitching out and it gives you more memory beyond the capabilities. And there's a sage, I suppose, that I just fought there. Anyways, when you're in this negative memory, you can actually exceed the maximum memory limit for RPG Maker. Problem is, I don't know what the results of doing that are, because I did it a long time ago. And by the way, there's the window. Those are supposed to be windows looking out to the mountains and whatnot. I did the trick a long time ago to do the negative memory. What I found was there seemed to be unexpected glitches that would start happening. Things would start disappearing, things like that. I have not double checked the results ever since, but my theory is that if you go into this negative memory and exceed the maximum memory limit for RPG Maker, that you actually break the system and break your games. You might end up corrupting your game if you ever exceed it. When I went ahead and updated it, I was very careful never to exceed having 0 memory left. I didn't use any screenshots, I didn't copy anything. If I wanted to add something, I would have to take something else away. That's the point that I was at. I was able to find a balance where I didn't really have to remove a lot. I only had to remove a little bit of text. I was able to add all the little special effects and sound effects that happen, little corrections to the direction that your character is facing, things like that. I think I have enough time left here. This boss, I had the most fun programming. Alice goes in here and uses her ability of Mini-Might and comes out this log on the other end. When out of nowhere, there's this giant white boot. As she looks up in the air, there's a mysterious blue body with a strange white hat and a blue face. It is Strumpf le Grand. Yes, that is Strumpf le Grand, not Strumpf le Grand. It's Strumpf le Grand. Basically, you're facing a giant smurf. Picks up Alice. And tosses her in his mouth. Now that the giant smurf has swallowed Alice, in typical cartoon fashion, we have to destroy the smurf from the inside out. Right now, in the style of Fantastic Voyage, you are inside the body of the giant smurf. That yellow lily pad looking thing is supposed to be a white blood cell chasing after me. The objective here is I can't get past these gold blocks. I have to find a way to remove them. I'm going to go ahead and step on this cell. Basically that's all that happens, is that you reset. These power nodules here, whatever you want to call them, something inside his body that you have to destroy. Once you remove it, removes the boulders in the way. Player, you would probably go through trial and error. You knew which ones to get. You would go ahead and destroy all of them. It's supposed to be in his lungs. And travel down through his stomach. Kidney. "30 seconds left in this video before I cut off." There's the heart. With 10 seconds left, I'm not going to destroy the heart. In the next video, we'll see what happens when we destroy Strumpf Le Grand.